and that's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Mookie Betts gave him a standing ovation, and Freddie Freeman described him as incredible.
I think he has a really good chance to win the Rookie of the Year, and I think there is a chance he could win the Cy Young.
They're teammates. He's going to say nice things about him, but this is above and beyond. This is not the best yet. I'm going to keep adjusting what I need, and then it's going to keep getting better.
皆さん、こんにちは。こんばんは。MLB 翻訳忍者です。本日は2024年2月19日に米国で放送された山本由伸に関するニュースを3本ご紹介します。アリゾナ州で行われているドジャースの春季キャンプでドジャースの強打者相手に実戦練習を行った山本ですが、その様子が米国番組でも話題になっています。山本の投球映像を見て、
どの球種もコントロールがすごい。フレディのような強打者が感動するなんてよほどすごい投球なんだ
と称賛のコメントが寄せられました。それでは米国番組での山本の投球映像に対する反応を日本語字幕付きで3本ご覧ください。
So it was another exciting day down at Camelback Ranch in Arizona because this morning, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the Dodgers' new $325 million ace, faced hitters in his first live BP in Dodger Blue, and he impressed. He was electric. You saw the full arsenal on display, the fastball, the curveball. He's someone that has elite stuff, and he particularly impressed his teammate Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman said after, "That's some crazy stuff. I'm glad he's on our team." And the Dodgers' best hitters outside of Shohei Ohtani got a look at him. You had Freddie Freeman, you had Mookie Betts, and after the session, he got an ovation from his new Dodgers teammates. So you guys know how excited I am about Yamamoto. I think it's going to be a Yamamania. If he can stay healthy, I think he has a really good chance to win the Rookie of the Year. And I think there is a chance he could win the Cy Young. I've talked to multiple scouts. Talked to my good friend Jose Mota, who is extremely familiar with Japanese players. He thinks there's a chance that he can be the best pitcher in the sport day one. It's just about, can he stay healthy? Can he adjust? I definitely think that he can. But let's not forget that there's been a lot of great pitchers that have come from Japan. Darvish, Tanaka, Ohtani, the list goes on and on. Yamamoto was better than all of them in the NPB. He's coming off a season where he had a 1.21 ERA. If you saw in the WBC, he had a K per 9 at almost 15. He has shown the ability to dominate hitters, to be amongst one of the best pitchers in the planet. I think that if he can stay healthy, he can absolutely accomplish a lot of big things for the Dodgers in year one. But let's not forget, they have him for 12 years, right? He does have those opt-outs around 29 if he wants to do that, but he's someone that's going to be in Dodger Blue for a long time, and I think he's going to be a rock, a frontline starter for years to come. And it was just really exciting to see him down there for the first time against some of these Dodgers hitters, and they clearly were extremely impressed.
First topic, and that's going to be Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who he's our lead story tonight, and he's certainly generated plenty of buzz out to Camelback Ranch in his own right, but still sort of been kind of a secondary figure to Shohei Ohtani, and sort of, understandably so. But I think, Blake, that changed a little bit on Saturday when Yamamoto got a chance to face batters for the first time.
Mookie Betts gave him a standing ovation, and Freddie Freeman described him as incredible and nasty, and he hit all the boxes. He was dotting his pitches. He said he was the whole package, and the calmness to be able to execute when everyone is watching you, it's very impressive. So when you get an elite hitter like Freddie Freeman talking about you like that, like, there's definitely something there.
It is still impressive. And honestly, you then layer in the big crowd that he drew. And not only are we talking fans who attend the workouts at Camelback Ranch, but so too did several Yamamoto's teammates. And, Tyler Glasnow, Joe Kelly, and Evan Phillips, there's photos of them watching Yamamoto warm up in the bullpen. And also, Andrew Friedman and Jeff Kingston, who's the vice president of baseball operations and assistant general manager, like, they were among the executives standing behind home plate watching. So certainly all eyes on him, and Yamamoto lived up to the billing, at least so far. But He might do another round of live BP, and then my guess is that he'll be getting into Cactus League games. And I know that Dylan Hernandez of the LA Times has reported that Yamamoto will start one of the 2 games in South Korea. Dylan didn't report which one of the 2, and the Dodgers also haven't officially said anything yet. But yeah, I mean, we'll start to kind of get more looks at Yamamoto. I know Cactus League games start this week, so we've made it through the offseason, which obviously was very eventful, and Yamamoto was certainly part of that.
The Dodgers did have a lot of live BP again this week, and we saw several pitchers throw in live BP, but the one that generated the most buzz was, of course, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the second biggest free agent signing of the offseason. He's getting he has a bigger contract than any starting pitcher in baseball history, despite the fact that he is 25 years old and has never thrown a pitch in the major leagues. But he has now thrown pitches to major leaguers, and those major leaguers were pretty darn impressed. Freddie Freeman, most of all, he was the most, at least the most quoted in his excitement about Yamamoto. Quick quote that went around on Twitter. He said, "That's some crazy stuff. I'm glad he's on our team. That's command I've never seen. Every pitch is intended in a quadrant." And Freddie went on and said, I went up to him and I said, "Please say incredible in Japanese." That was incredible. It was just very impressive. The whole package, the calmness to be able to execute when everyone's watching you is very, very impressive. And Freddie Freeman is a pretty darn good hitter, Vince. He's won batting titles. He's come close to winning other batting titles. He's a former MVP, and just gushing praise. And obviously, I mean, they're teammates. He's going to say nice things about him, but this is above and beyond. Oh yeah, good stuff. You know, this isn't cliche baseball stuff. This is gushing.
Yeah, and realistically, what we kind of thought were he has a lot of different pitches and he uses it. And I think the impressive part and kind of the part that sets him above other people is the command. He can put it where he wants, and that's kind of what Freddie said. Whatever quadrant he wanted it, that's where it was. Whatever pitch it was, that's where he put it. And to impress Freddie Freeman, obviously, he's going to say positive things about anybody that was on that mound, but to go above and beyond, to kind of go up and tell him about it. There was reports that there was a little ovation after he threw his live BP, like that. Everybody was excited about it, and for him, we talked about him adjusting to the baseball. We talked about him adjusting to the a new-ish routine, which could be good for him because he gets to do kind of his own terms and whatever he wants, and that's great.
Yeah, and in addition to Freeman, the batters that Yamamoto faced was Mookie Betts, Austin Barnes, Max Muncy, Jason Hayward, and Manuel Margot. And like you said, Mookie joined in a standing ovation for Yamamoto when he was done. And one of my favorite quotes in this article on Dodger Insider was from Yamamoto himself. He said, "It was good for me to have an opportunity to face actual hitters. This is not the best yet. I'm going to keep adjusting what I need, and then it's going to keep getting better." And obviously, like in a way, that's almost goes without saying that his first live BP of the spring isn't going to be his best stuff. But when everybody else is just gushing about how good he was, I kind of love that he has the confidence to say, "I'm going to get better." Dave Roberts, the manager, he felt pretty good about it too after watching it. His quote was funny. He says, "I'm very confident that he can be a frontline starter. I think the first thing I see is his ability to command the baseball with his fastball. He can throw to all quadrants. Then you look at the pitch mix, the weapons that he has, fastball, curveball, slider, the split, and to be able to throw those for strikes to get left-handed hitters out, right-handed hitters out. And the last part, he's very intelligent, very curious, and he's going to be prepared and understand how to attack major league hitters." That's probably a little more cliche, along the lines of what you would expect a manager to say about a guy after his first bullpen. But it's also like, it's a lot more specific words. It's not just "Oh yeah, he looked good out there," but like the specifics. And I mean, the pitch mix seems to really excite Roberts when you look at, he mentioned specifically platoon splits and being able to get guys out from both sides of the plate. That's a huge deal. And he does have the weapons to do that. So all in all, like, I'm excited to watch him pitch in real games, in a month from now. But even just once he pitches in a spring game, sometime in the next couple weeks, at least, it should be a lot of fun to watch him face guys who aren't wearing the same uniform as him and watch him attack them that way.
The other part that was mentioned was PitchCom. They did use PitchCom for the live BP. Will Smith was catching them, I believe, and was calling the pitches, which is another like little wrinkle that you don't necessarily think about. I hadn't thought about it at all, really, until it was kind of mentioned. And it's good for him and Will to get on the same page and know that it's hard to call pitches for someone, one, you don't necessarily know very well, two, some of the language difficulties you may have, and then three, with so many pitches to throw, like what do you like to throw 1-2? What do you like to throw it to? What do you like to do to get ahead in the count? What do you like to do when you're behind in the count? Like, there's a lot of different things to kind of get into. So regardless of how this first batting practice went, it's one of those things that you think about, like, okay, the first few times through when he does pitch against other hitters, to take it with a grain of salt, but also, if it was clean this time, when it shouldn't be too much different once they're trying to actually get guys out.
Yeah, spring training, it's always easy to overreact to good or bad things, and we're going to do our best here to not overreact, but also, it's exciting. And so what we are going to react strongly to is the excitement of having our Dodgers back on the field, while trying not to overreact to the actual specific results for any individual player, and especially win-loss record for the team during spring. We're not going to worry about that at all. But the excitement of seeing these guys back on the mound, in the batter's box, all that.
いかがだったでしょうか。まだまだ良くなるという山本自身のコメントに大きな期待が寄せられていましたね。また MLB への適応など重要なポイントも指摘されていましたが、今後の活躍が楽しみですね。本チャンネルでは日本人メジャーリーガーに関する現地ニュースを日本語字幕付きでお送りしています。よければチャンネル登録、高評価をよろしくお願いします。また次回の動画でお会いしましょう。